you guys that are watching us, thank you, but you'll miss the first half of the show, which was incredible. It's an incredible show. We are at Lake Hayburn in Oklahoma right now.
That's the truth.
And we're not selling tacos here. We're just sleeping here.
Yeah.
We've been kicked out of our homes.
At the lake. We're lake lifing.
We're lake guys now. And so we did a first 45-minute show.
Yep.
With a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of real big stuff that's going on. And
so many conspiracy theories.
And I thought that's good, and it's on
good
our
start.
It's on our Patreon. It's on Conradio. So if you guys want to listen to that, just go to Conradio Patreon, and tonight it'll be up. This whole show, including the part you're watching now, will be one continuous show. And so there's no real particular reason we did it that way, other than we had to charge the phone for a little bit.
It felt right.
It did.
You know what I mean?
It did. Just like this tea bag I'm wearing.
Yeah, it just feels right. And, to be honest, Conrad was turning a lot of heads with his tea bag.
Yep.
At the lake today. We got in at about 6:30, 7. Yeah, it was probably about 7 o'clock.
Yeah, long before sunset.
And he said, "Hey, I'll be right there." I kind of posted up with a beer or two.
Yeah.
Here on the picnic table outside beautiful trees here, and got the trailer all hooked up and feeling the power. Just feeling. I think it's the first time we've hooked it up to full 50
Yeah,
amper.
it's got 50 amps. It's got about 8,000 joules running through it right now.
So many joules. And he came out wearing a teal tea bag. I mean, just.
Yep.
And he says, "I'm going for a walk." I'm like, "Dude, knock it out."
Yeah.
And he wasn't
a power walk.
He was power walking. He had a Bible on his head, which I thought was the first posture, but everybody else didn't understand it.
Yeah, but I keep God close to my dome. Dude.
And you wasn't 10 feet up the drive there, and you had people
coming out of their tents,
catcalling and whistling at you.
And I was flexing cheeks as I was walking, so I know what they would see. And I still got dimples. Around my buttock, I got buttocks dimples, but they're in the right places. I have moved them around. I've mushed my Play-Doh around to make all the dimples be in the right place. And so people notice that kind of effort, and they appreciate
it. Golf ball.
A little hail dents.
Come here, come here, kiss my dimples. You know what I mean?
So I can't recap everything we talked in the first half. You'll have to go back and listen.
It's secret.
But I do have other thoughts. I got another conspiracy for you, bud.
Are you going to throw another one at me after the last one?
Yeah, this one's maybe bigger.
Okay, I don't know if I can handle it. Let me see. Yep, okay, all right.
And it's a big conspiracy heard here on the Lakeside Waterhead podcast.
Lakeside Chats.
And this conspiracy...
Lakeside Chaps.
Okay, do you remember, and it's hard because you've been brainwashed, but do you remember before COVID? So 2019.
Are you getting ready to tell me Bill Nye, the science guy? Are you getting ready to pronounce his name?
He's involved. Okay. He's involved in this bullshit. But
I remember
pre-2009. Well, no, pre-COVID, around the year 2019,
right after SARS.
Yeah, right after SARS.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember, the big story in 2019 wasn't that there's going to be a world-changing pandemic. The big thing was
Celtics are going to win
the
championship.
Were in a frenzy about a frenzy about societal issues. And they were pointing fingers, they're blaming, everybody had their own opinion on whose fault it is. We're taking money from this prick, we're giving money to this prick, stop liking that prick, all that kind of stuff. But even more than that, the big story of 2019 was there was a group of people in Nevada that were getting ready to storm Area 51.
Yes, I remember that.
There was supposed to be thousands of people.
Yeah, there was at least 25 people.
That's what they tell you.
Yeah.
But if you go back, which I've done some recon on this, and I wasn't listening to people that were talking about this incident. This incident was so big that people that weren't involved were talking about it. And there was more than 25 people
That's
there.
a big incident.
It was all that, I mean, every episode of different shows in 2019 were referring to the fact that people are meeting up down in Nevada,
Right.
getting ready to storm the
Yeah.
gates of
With
Area
their
51.
lasers and stuff.
Yeah, because we had, you know, there has been some sort of videos and stuff that were unexplainable that were released by the government saying like, yeah, well, we don't know what this is, probably alien craft and all this stuff. And people are like, we're going to go check this shit out. We're going to go storm Area 51.
See for ourselves.
And then there was stuff like, oh, we got potato guns, military potato guns to shoot you.
We got
and
lasers on the potato guns to make sure we shoot them right.
So this is all going down. Then, like a light switch, nobody talked about it. And all it turned into was pandemic.
Yeah.
Yet the storming happened.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you what happened at it. Nobody tells you what's going on. Nobody reported on it. Nobody did anything. But all of a sudden, pandemic happens. All of a sudden, what do? We stay home, stay in place, you know, shelter in place. You're scared.
You're telling me that
you're non-essential. You're non-essential. All this stuff. And then all of a sudden, dude, every news show on TV, they crank it up to 11 on their side.
Yeah.
So Fox News cranks it up to 11.
Yeah.
And CNN cranks it up to 11.
Yeah. Mad Al got out there. And
it is two differing views on so many different subjects that are just hating the other side.
Right.
They're calling people deplorable. They're calling citizens, you know, all kinds of different slurs, and all in the name of equality somehow. You know, you guys are pieces of S, you know, but because we want to be equal. It's like, what? And nothing made sense, but people didn't question it. They're just like, oh, I'm just going to get into my little covey of people. I'm going to get around my people, and then we're just become an echo chamber of the same thing.
Yeah.
They just sit there and echo each other's thoughts because they're all comfortable in their same little zone. Meanwhile, all this is going on, and Fox News, and I don't know if CNN has done this because I can't find their channel anymore.
I thought you were going to say Fox News.
I ain't woke enough. You know, I ain't woke up.
Yeah.
And I want people to stay woke. But Fox News decided we got to slip this ad in, and everybody's been eating this ad for 3 years, and nobody's said shit, and I'm about to tell you what it is.
Chanting.
So after Area 51 storming, pandemic happens immediately after. Okay, now we're all dying.
E. coli.
Fox News starts running this ad for gummy bears called Balance of Nature.
Oh, wow.
And what happens in this advertisement, bud, is men of our age or older, could be anywhere from the age of 40 to the age of 65, right? They get on camera and they say, listen, I'm a school teacher, but on my off time, I'm also a woodworker. I got a hobby, and I just feel run down. Not since I started taking Balance of Nature gummies. Balance of Nature gummies are gummies that have nature in them. They have all the vitamins. So they have two different ones. They got a green bottle and a pink bottle. Pink bottle's fruits, green bottle's veggies. Yeah. When you eat a green Balance of Nature, that's all your veggies. So when you woke up on a Monday and you said, I feel run down, I haven't had a vegetable in 34 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I feel like this.
Yeah, I need
And somebody's like, what is your diet? And you say, well, I go to Sonic for breakfast, Big Mac for lunch.
Right.
And then if the wife's cooking, which she doesn't do very often, we usually just get a pizza, or she might get a Grubhub, you know, some sort of takeout Chinese place or something. And then what do you do on Tuesday? And you just keep going through the same list over and over. And they say, well, do you eat vegetables? And people were throwing up. Fuck no. What? Fuck
no.
No, I don't eat.
I hate vegetables.
I don't eat fruit.
I push the broccoli away from my beef and broccoli.
I don't eat vegetables, dude. And then doctors
said you probably should
simultaneously.
Eat
they're like, well, you do have COVID, and your diet seems bad by what you've told me.
Bad.
You should probably, have you thought about eating vegetables or an apple a day?
What?
Fuck, kiss my. I'm getting a new doctor.
I'm getting a new doctor. I'm getting a second opinion. I'm getting a second opinion. I'm telling you right now.
And so Fox News created a gummy that these people can have. And so all of a sudden, people that are sleeping on my pillows are eating their veggies for the week in one gummy. They're
Wow.
eating their fruits for a
Wow.
week in one gummy.
Yeah.
And they come on TV and they say, what I love about it is that it's all natural.
Yeah.
Dog, it ain't all natural.
Well, I mean,
You're eating.
it's in the form of a gummy. But here's the thing: it must have worked
You
because
can't call it balance of nature
explain June 6th.
when you've taken nature.
Explain June 6th. Then.
Oh man, those people are hyped up on freaking balance of nature
You bet.
gummies. They had too many vitamins. They had too many.
Yeah, we need to calm down on vitamins, everybody.
Too many. What is in vegetables? Too many freaking carcinogens or whatever that is. You know, they had
vitamins.
too much of that, dude. They had too much cellulose going on in their body, and they got angry and frustrated, obviously. And then Donald Trump stood up there on that stage, January 6th.
Eat your gummies.
Yep, before the people stormed, pop a gummy.
Yeah,
balance of nature. Yeah. People forget that.
Yeah,
they to, you know, to the normal talking points of his thing, like let's go take back America,
right.
Storm the Capitol.
Yeah,
kill everybody, bring your pitchforks, and burn it down. And that's what
they don't remember him pitching the gummies.
You don't remember him throwing out baskets of balance of nature to these fools.
The funny thing is, if you turn the camera around to the crowd of 25 people that were there,
yeah,
and it's like simultaneously, you see him like put something in their mouth.
Gummies. It's a freaking balance of nature. It's too many vitamins, and people can't handle it.
Well, people are addicted now.
And it's the only way they're eating, so we don't know what's in there.
We don't know.
And what's so funny is you think like, well, the reason people are doing this is because
it's probably booster
fruits
shots
and vegetables.
It's probably booster shots.
Here's one thing you guys got to stop doing at the fruits and vegetables aisle. Don't have a produce section and then in part of the produce section label some stuff organic.
Oh,
this should all be organic.
Yeah. It's all grown, you know.
Yeah, you can't be like, do you want these bananas or organic ones? Shouldn't they both be organic?
Yeah.
You know, do you want this kale or organic
this one
kale?
Came off of an airplane. This one came off of a ship.
Yeah, we grow this one in a bottle.
In a tub. Yeah. This is tub bananas.
But they don't
but that wouldn't sell well if you sell this is tub.
But none
bananas.
of it sells. You know what the fruit industry, which they're trying their best.
Yeah.
But they just don't have the lobbyists that tobacco and guns have.
No, they don't.
But they're trying their best.
Well, they do now. We're the gummies.
Guys, we've done some stuff. We've done some. You guys hate our products.
Yeah.
You know, we were making red delicious apples, and you weren't fooled. These are mushy nastiness.
Horrible.
These are bad. And so what they ended up doing,
Granny Smith, good luck,
is they made something called a honey crisp. They mixed a bee's nest with an apple.
Can't get enough of
and made a delicious
golden crisp
honey crisp apple. And then people said that's not. They made a cosmic apple, made it from the freaking stars.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. If you've never bitten one, it's like eating. It's as if you're eating stem cells straight from a damn apple tree.
Yeah.
And you feel energetic, and you're getting everything.
It's unlike weed.
It's the opposite of weed.
Like stems, which is bad in the drug concert. I've learned that.
That's bad, man. And so what they did that nobody's ever tried, and they made this in a field somewhere, probably in Oregon,
organically.
They mixed a crossbred of grape with an apple.
What are you doing?
They did. It exists.
What are you doing right now?
And it's called a grapple. It's
pronounced grapple.
It's an apple-sized grape.
What?
There's grapples out there that are sitting on your shelf, marked organic, that are little treasures from a farmer's brain and his ability to cross-pollinate fruits. And we just walk by them because guess what? We already popped a gummy this morning.
Sure did.
I've had 38 grapples this morning.
I had a bunch of grapples. They're delicious in gummy form.
So they get on there. They get people freaking high. That people are high. They're high on vitamin C, and they're watching Fox News, and everything on Fox News is you're going to get your child being groomed to have sex with his gay professor, and take your kids out of school, and legless people are equal, and all this different stuff, and a normal person looks at it like, what are you talking about?
Right.
But somebody on Balance of Nature,
pass me some gummies.
You take one Balance of Nature, this stuff makes sense.
Yeah, well, it's going to come back to bite them. It
sure
really is. It's gonna, you're gonna get the gummy gut. Where it's basically just nothing but gelatin in your lower intestines, because they have to mix those fruits and vegetables, and with something, guess what? Bing bong, that's gelatin. You know what I mean? Now it tastes delicious, and you can chew it. It gets stuck in your cavities, but once you digest it and get down there, it doesn't all digest, and it's you're gonna start having some bowel movements like Crystal Pepsi. You know what I mean? And
Oh, you're gonna have gummy gut, dude.
I mean,
And
it's gummy gut, bud, and you guys got to slow down on them, is what I'm saying. If June 6th
taught me
taught me
anything.
anything, is you guys got to cut down on the gummies a little bit. You know what I mean?
If you would have told,
Ridiculous.
if
what
you
it
would have
is.
told like when people come back from freaking World War II or Vietnam,
Yeah, and
even,
you said, "Hey, eat this gummy."
hey,
You're
in
like,
30
"What?"
years, your food will be a gummy.
Right.
They would slap the shit out of you.
Yeah, they would just they make you eat
Yeah.
their gun, and then they would eat again.
Yeah, because people back
They
then
do our insurance plan right there.
they would do aspirins. People would just have an
Yeah.
aspirin. Like
Right.
your tummy hurts, eat a fucking aspirin.
Well, they had pills too. They had aspirin and they had salt pills. And salt pills were the gummies of the day.
That'd dry your seed, dude, and that's what they
It
wanted.
did.
Yep.
It did.
Control population.
And when you're sweating because you have all that gear on,
Mm-hmm.
and you hit that cold water,
Mm-hmm.
storm of Normandy, you get up on that hot
Gotta
sand,
pop a salt tab.
you pop a couple salt tabs.
Yeah, man, salt up.
You gotta get salt back in you, dude.
Salt life, dude.
You know? Do they have a problem with gummy gut? No, because
No.
gummies wasn't even invented yet, dude.
Nobody did gummies, and
You know?
if they did, it was children. And even then,
When they came back, I've seen old people from World War II slap the hell out of their wives for making Jello that had the gelatin base.
Yeah.
Now, once they got to the home, they gave in because they got force fed it.
they'll
and
do
liked
it. Yeah, they'll do it behind
But I
closed
tell you
doors.
what, they like their pudding, and that's the way it should be. Number one, thank you, vets of WW Stick Stick.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you right away. And if I had anything to do with it, I would give you the rest of your lifetime supply of tapioca or butterscotch, whatever flavor of pudding you like, because I agree. Even though Jello rolled into the pudding game, you know what I mean? They're the evil overlords trying to give you.
Yeah, but are they in or are they out?
Yes.
You can't tell because they're jiggling around, dude.
Jiggling, bud.
Get in this fucking door, Jello, if you want to come in.
Wiggle.
Can't just keep jiggling back and forth.
My money don't jiggle. It folds, bud.
Here's one thing I thought about too. Speaking of Jellos and yogurts, dude, and puddings, is when you go to the store now to the yogurt aisle, which I know you are.
Visited every time I go to the store.
Everybody is, and if you're from a different part of this world, if you're from a sand-based culture,
right,
you're checking out the yogurt aisle
for sure,
and you're wanting to squirt something on some shawarma or whatever.
You betcha.
And
on some flatbread, bud.
But here's what I don't understand is in America, where we're a gummy nation
and we're free.
Yeah, allegedly free. How can a company such as Chobani or Yoplait
have organic yogurt?
Put out their wares, put out their organics, their Greeks, their everything, and they'll say this one's peach and this one's bomb bomb, this one's bomb
right.
pop, this one's freaking kale. They got 80,000 different flavors, right?
Right.
And blueberry's great, and mixed fruit's great, and passion fruit. All these things are delicious. And then right there with them is plain.
Oh, yeah.
And they made it. They put it in the same jar.
Yeah, plain yogurt is made for bacon, dude. You can't. Yeah, you gotta mix with other
but
flavors.
You can't be like, here's yogurt. That's great.
I dump my gummies on a plain yogurt. That's a little treat.
You can't just be like, here's all these yogurts that are each one's more delicious than the next. I had apple bottom yesterday. It was great.
The first time I ever had yogurt, I think I was 30, and it was back around your age, and I opened it up and had one big spoonful. I was like, no, this is not for me.
It doesn't have a flavor. You can't create a product.
Well, but here
that doesn't exist.
They didn't put the directions. You got to stir it up, bud.
Oh,
all the good stuff's at the bottom. They don't tell you that.
Yeah, but here's what you're gonna find at the bottom of plain.
Yeah,
plain.
Nothing. Yeah, you're gonna find more plain, bud. And I didn't open plain. It was something like mixed fruit or mixed berry or whatever.
You got to dig in there.
And what I did was I took a spoon off the top and I spit it out. And I was like, "This tastes like goat milk."
Yep,
you know what I mean?
It does, dude. And that's why you spit it into an Indian's mouth. You're gonna have a friend for life.
I did. I spit it right to him, and I said, "Listen, Make me some freaking curry
Yeah.
or shawarma or whatever you
Pop
got
that
back
freaking
there.
copper elephant out of your
You can,
mouth. And
yeah, you can have this damn yogurt. I'll trade you this yogurt for some meat. You know, what are you doing?
I don't know. It is amazing though that you can. It should be. They shouldn't be in the same container.
No, it shouldn't be on the same aisle.
It should be like,
You know, it should be on the same
yeah,
store.
put it in a different freezer section where this is stuff that tastes awful unless you add to it.
Here's a little trick for you Walmart people or any other store you work at. When it all comes in, take the plain and just put it in the spoiled section. Okay, because that's all it is. It's spoiled milk. Now, if you ain't gonna dunk a piece of fruit or a cosmic apple or grapple, you know what I mean, in there with that yogurt, it's done.
Dude,
Because I'll tell you this, it ain't selling, dog. So it's gonna go
it ain't
there
selling.
anywhere.
It
It's
ain't
gonna go
selling.
right to the
It's
spoil.
a freaking spoil. And here's the other shitty thing: nobody knows how to cook.
Nope.
And so what people do, like you
can't
said,
cook yogurt.
you can't.
That's something else they don't tell you. You can't cook
You
with
can't
it. Dog.
buy a big old jug of plain yogurt
Nope.
and then bring it home. You cannot tell everybody.
Guys, I got yogurt.
Everybody in your
No, you didn't.
that's listening. Everybody that has ears that's listening knows that right now there's a rotting container of plain yogurt in your fridge.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason you're
No
like,
one's
I'm
going-
gonna make a cake,
Nope,
or I'm
no
gonna
one's going nowhere with
I'm
that
gonna put
yogurt.
granola on it. No, you're not.
No,
You're gonna open
no,
it one time
and you're gonna smell it.
and you're gonna go, fuck this. And you're
That's
gonna close
Yep.
it and leave it in your fridge
Put it
forever.
right back in.
And then you're gonna throw it away, and for whatever reason, the yogurt gods
are gonna say, "Ooh, 6-pack," and you're gonna get one, and what's left, plain.
Yep, and you're gonna freaking have it sitting in there the rest of your life until the next time you throw it away, and then do it again.
That's horrible, dude. That's horrible. We got a yogurt crisis for sure.
And speaking of food, buddy, here's something I was thinking of. You know, people are they're starting already with like they tried it for a little bit. Hey, cows are farting, you know. Let's go beyond beef. Let's
Right.
go. We can
Let's go
make
further.
we can make a gummy beef.
Right.
You know, we can make a hamburger out of gummies that tastes just like it bleeds. Remember when they said that it bleeds like real,
Like
you know,
real
this
beef.
lettuce burger bleeds like real beef.
Look at it. You want it, don't you?
Yeah, you want it. We're gonna get rid of cows because they're freaking causing global warming.
Yeah.
Well, why can't I go into? You can almost go to any restaurant still and say I want a hamburger, and it's made out of beef supposedly. And you can say I want a hot dog, and that's made out of just the greatest parts of a pig, is what
Right.
I've heard.
Best part.
But you can't sit down in America and say I'll have that. I just want a little slab of that giraffe neck.
Yeah.
You know, I want giraffe.
Yeah.
Because these little fuckers have been getting away with their big old long necks. It's like we forget that they're food. You know, we let them eat the leaves at the top of these branches, and then we say, that's cool. They have long necks.
Looks good.
But
They got the
nobody
big
ever.
tongues, you know.
It's like, let's carve that little pecker head up
Yeah.
and eat it. And I think that there's a lot of meat, and these guys are not passing gas. We should, instead of cows, we should be going giraffe.
Yeah.
Because that neck meat is
delicious.
I bet it's so tender. You know what I mean? It's marbled.
Yeah.
Because all of a giraffe's fat is in its neck, they
Yeah.
say. So it's marbled.
The muscle and fat is all in the neck. Yeah.
All their muscle.
Have you seen their legs?
And
There's not enough meat. There's like a chicken wing worth of meat on their legs.
There's nothing there.
There's a rump. If you work your way up,
you can
there's
get
a little rump.
Oh, you can have a little giraffe butt.
Giraffe rump.
Little giraffe booty. You
Sure.
throw a tea back on a giraffe, I'll eat that booty.
I'd like to have a rack of giraffe ribs. You know what I mean? Can you
They're
imagine those?
thick.
Thick.
They're thick,
Right.
dude. You got to soak them in some vinegar.
More
but
bones. Yeah, I heard. What was it? Orange. I think orange Shasta. You know,
Orange Julius?
Orange Shasta.
Orange
man.
Shasta. Oh,
Yeah.
you put them in some orange Shasta?
You let them marinate overnight, and that stuff takes.
Yeah. That'll get the buckshot out of them,
Sure
too.
it will. Sure
Yeah,
it will.
it'll pop it right out of there. I think it's important to stop limiting our cuisines.
Yeah, don't do that.
Based on beauty.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done.
It's cute. Then it's delicious.
The cuter it is.
Think of the best meat you've eaten in your life. Where'd it come from?
The cutest thing you've ever seen.
Where'd it come from?
Carp.
Yeah.
Best looking,
it's a carp.
Best looking fish.
That's right. You want to kiss it.
You want to.
Got those big old lips. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Great scales.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Any other meat out there? Bat.
Oh.
Good looking
You
birds.
good
Probably
look.
the best looking bird other than maybe a penguin, is a bat. And if you go to a bat barbecue, bud, I mean, if you step clear of the COVIDs, you're going to have a good time. You're going to be
You're gonna
eating
have a
good in the
great time.
neighborhood.
You
Now,
are.
if you're talking four-legged animals,
You get into that giraffe, dude.
yeah, bud,
A giraffe is
Yeah.
a majestic
for sure,
animal.
for sure. Zebra, little tough, but you can make it through it. Good jerky.
But
Good jerky.
what is the funnest animal to kill? It's got to be a giraffe.
Howler monkey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Silverback. Dude, I'd have a silverback steak.
for sure.
I'd have a silverback right now. A
Silverback.
silverback and a Leinenkugel.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh my God,
Are we
that
talking
pairs.
about a summer shandy for
Yeah.
sure.
I'll summer shandy silverback it.
If you're gonna have some mountain oysters, silverback mountain oysters, you're gonna need to sip on little rye whiskey and stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
There's always a good pairing, dude. And if you get into and I don't know where you find it. Supposedly there's a black market. There's a and Happy Juneteenth. It's not that kind of market. It is like a market that they don't want you to know exists.
Right.
A hidden market.
Yeah.
Where they'll sell you damn near anything. And they got giraffe, they got howler monkey, they got silverback.
Chill out, they got everything.
Yeah, dude, you can get a gummy there.
Definitely get a gummy.
You can get a gummy there. But you can get off that beef.
Get off that beef.
And you can not have to eat a bleeding lettuce burger.
Let's not do that.
You can just get into that
frickin'
that meat of that silverback
because
rib.
I mean, they start putting all kinds of stuff in those weird things. They got beet juice and they've got they got lettuce milk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they got all this stuff to make these patties. And dude, it costs so much to make them. You know? Yeah. I mean, and I know they're inexpensive. They're just trying to get you hooked until they raise the price up, bud. I get your jokes, Walmart. You used to get those Impossibles. I think you got 2 for $4 or something. It was crazy. And they were built just like a Whopper.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't taste anything like it, but they were built like it. So your brain says this looks like a Whopper. But it
tasted rotten.
Nobody ordered them, and so now they got a freezer full of Impossible Whoppers.
They're pouring freaking plain yogurt on.
$12. They're $12 a piece. So that's what you get. Fuck you, farmers. You know what I mean? That's what you get.
I had the unfortunate experience the other day of not being able to choose what I listened to, meaning my phone or all my stuff had died. And so I was left to the world in my car, to the radio world.
Oh, man.
And they're confused.
I can't believe you came back from that. That is horrible.
Yeah. And so I was flipping around and I landed on a station that was provided by the taxpayers in NPR, National Public Radio. And there was a woman on there that had just written a book, and I thought, fucking about time, congratulations, and I'm proud of you, because I've always been a feminist. But on top of that, at heart. Well, in the words of Theo Vaughn, I'm a lesbian at heart, but I'm a feminist too.
Right.
I think I'm actually more like I got a farmer's heart. If I really...
Yeah, thick.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a thick-walled heart. It's a fatty heart. It's a farmer's heart. And this woman was on there. She had just written a book. And I don't know how many pages, but
5 at least.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm sure it had a beautiful cover. And her book was funded by a government grant where she was able to go study the habits of homosexual penguins. And then relate those homosexual tendencies from the animal world to the human world to explain that, listen, nature has been gay forever. And humans just now are figuring out that that's actually normal.
Yeah. I mean, since Roman times, yeah.
And so she has this story of following homosexual penguins.
Right.
And because they mate for life. So there's a couple John Lithgow penguins that met each other.
Right.
And she followed them around and she's like,
best dressed.
And then she started talking about fucking geese. That there was these 2 geese that people always talked about in some area of
Made
like
fun of and
Connecticut.
tried to hang and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was a couple, a geese couple.
Uh-huh.
Well, turns out both of the geese were men.
Yeah.
And then there was another goose that come in there, and these men geese like kind of fought over for a while, but then accepted her.
Yeah.
But then they both took care of her as their own spouse.
Right.
And it was a menage a trois of geese love.
Right.
And she's like, see, this is all normal in nature. And as I was listening to it, I was like, what is the point of your shit? Like, have you turned your phone on lately? Because we're fine with it. Like, you don't need to write a book to try to convince people
That
to
it's
be okay
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
Because just go to your search engine.
Right.
And there's about 1,000 videos of 2 women or 2 men or 2 or 3 men.
It's on commercials now. It's in Disney movies.
It's in Disney movies. We're fine. We're there.
We're already,
we're there.
We're past it. You missed the boat.
Yeah.
Obviously, your grant was for like 5 years to write the book.
And there might be 1,000 videos of women with other women. Probably 1 million videos.
There's probably, at least that. And there's probably two or 3,000.
There'll be hundreds of millions of views.
Oh, yeah.
So people are fine with it.
Yeah, we're good. We're good with it. And there's probably like 2,000 with gay penguins, and we're fine with that too.
But if you're going to try to convince me that I need to read a book about how I should accept geese, you're talking to the wrong dude. Because a geese is the product of the devil, dude. And the reason, because you're an idiot, and unfortunately I have to tell you that, lady. You're an idiot.
Sorry.
When you watched those geese and you saw what you saw,
you didn't see what you saw.
You didn't see what you saw. Because what's not happening is a menage a trois.
Right.
What geese do is a woman goose will shit out an egg that has another devil in it.
Yep.
And that woman goose will lay on that egg.
Yep. And the men are trying to fight.
Men will fuck you up if you come near that new devil.
Right.
And you could say, well, I'm in a tank. They surely won't. They'll
kill your tank.
They will fuck a tank up. They'll throw a rock at your tank.
Yeah, geese was, I think it was Rommel. Rommel's favorite animal.
It was David Duke's favorite treat.
Yeah. He used goose liver.
He did. But he was one of the first bodybuilders.
He was a good racist. He was one of the good ones.
I think so, dude. And I hate to bring his name up on Juneteenth.
Yeah, I can't hate doing that.
I do. But he loved to exercise.
Loved it.
And I read his fitness book. And that dude, it's a better book than the Gay Penguin book, I'll tell you that.
Oh, for sure.
Not just because a man wrote it, but because it's just got a lot of good fitness tips.
I mean, and I think
for beach bodies.
He's due for another book because, that is such a minuscule part of society, David Duke's group. And he probably should write a book about how people pick on.
He makes a fucking great mayonnaise.
Oh, for sure. Duke's mayonnaise is the best.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite treats. And he's actually expanded that line and just added a little bit of flavors in there.
Oh, okay.
Southwestern,
I see you.
And I'll eat any dressing that man makes.
Absolutely.
And I don't.
It's like our wrap snacks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They can't decide on a couple different flavors. Just throw them all in. Little Baby threw everything at it.
Yeah, Little Baby.
And I'm telling you what, something in there is wrong. Something in there was wrong. And I hate to say that about Little Baby on Juneteenth, but you can't throw every flavor that Lay's or whatever has, because I don't know if you've looked at the catalog, bud. It's a lot of flavors. You know what I mean? You can't
I had the Little Wayne's snack.
How were they?
They were fermented cheese. They were just
really.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, at least he went with one flavor. You know what I mean?
Did.
God bless him for that.
They were stanky. He called them stanky Famundas, and
love that.
They were too, man. They were stinky, dude. So, if you're gonna open up a bag of wrap snacks, wrap chips,
try Notorious Big IG. I think he's got the honey and jalapeno.
Got honey, jalapeno, and blood.
That's just a sweet hot. You know what I mean?
It's got a little iron in it too.
Sweet hot and iron.
And you can eat chips and gummies. Dude, I've been gaseous all.
You have. Well, it was bad. You almost blew your tea back off. But I was always holding on.
I've had adult gas all evening.
Yeah, you have.
I'm sorry about that. I've tried to walk away.
Sorry, we're in nature. This is where it happens.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to attract an animal.
I don't want you to attract another menage a
trois. There's fucking bears out here too, I bet.
Oh, tons.
Black bear country.
Tons of bears out here, dude.
Yep.
But we're in that silver bullet.
We are, dude, and it's cool because we never have pumped this many joules into it.
Well, that, and we've never let the AC, because, I mean,
we're usually cooking. It's 100 degrees outside.
Electricity costs stuff, and we got all the windows shut on the sucker, and it's got good screens, so we could open it up, but it's so hot and muggy out tonight. We said, nope, let that AC rock.
Yeah, we closed it up,
and I'm telling you, it's gonna be some frosty
stalactites.
You know what I mean in there. So
it's beautiful. I'm excited for it.
Me too. It's gonna be dark. I'm gonna take probably a 2-hour shower up there at the shower house. I'm gonna tap my foot a lot. See if I attract any customers.
We had a horrible day. We're not live on the OK Taco show. We're just on Conradio, so we can be more real with you guys. Open, because that's our business.
Yeah, we're always open,
And
we're like Winchells,
But here's the thing, we were talking today, and you guys here on this side of the world, this Conradio side of the world, understand that this is all we want to do.
Yeah.
And people can be like, yeah, who doesn't, right?
Right.
But really for the past we do this to go feed people for free.
Yeah.
We don't make the money.
Delicious food.
And every once in a while, like we said, we've had great days, know. But usually the best days we have are when people reach out to us and say, hey,
bud,
come on out and feed us something.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay you to come out. Right. And we say, well, that's not enough. You have to pay us this much.
And they said, fine.
Fine. That's still really cheap to feed this many people. And we say, that's great, because now we actually had a good day.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time we go scour the state and try to get people to listen to our show while serving them tacos. And they love our tacos, but they don't care about shows.
No.
And so we feel like, ooh, this is not...
A lot of them don't have phones.
At least I feel like this isn't the... If I'm going to work this hard at something, it needs to be what we want.
Yeah.
Not, we're trying to trick people, kind of, into being like, you like us, so maybe you'll like our show.
Well, it's one of those things. It's guerrilla warfare. It's analog marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not a trick per se. I guess it's a trick to come see us, and if you like us, then what else you guys got? You know what I mean? And
there's been some people that are converts. They've done it
for sure, and we've bet on ourselves. I hate to throw Fred Van Vliet in there, but we've bet on ourselves to where if they see us out in nature, and they happen upon a taco truck and they roll the dice and say, I'm going to try you guys. We're going to serve you with a friendly smile and try to make you laugh and giggle. And even our old gal, our golden gal over there at Walmart, these people, we've got them hook, line, and sinker,
But then they don't. It's almost like they don't believe us.
They don't go the next route. They don't believe us that we have a show. Yeah. And so they either don't check it out, or what? I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? Or they can't, or they forget about it, or they're just there for tacos. Like, they do the polite shaking of head, like, yeah, I heard what you said, but what I really want is just these tacos, dog. Like, and I can't blame them for that. You got a taco truck. It's something different, even if. It's a small town, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, we've got a lot of return customers, so that means that we do our job in entertaining these people while they're at the trailer, ask them different questions, and we're good at remembering faces and asking about their kids, or hey, did your son and graduate? All these things that people that remember that are trying to put themselves out there as a likable person.
Yeah.
We do all those things, but it hasn't kicked into overdrive, or, we want to trickle. We're not even asking for a thick trickle. We're just wanting to, we want a small trickle of people popping in every now and then to check out the show, and not even sign up. Although that's the goal.
That's the goal, but it starts with
hey, I heard the show last night.
Right.
Or, hey, I heard the show last week, or you guys mentioned Winchell's Donut, whatever popped out there to make them giggle. We're not getting the feedback that they're listening. So if we're going to run it a year, pretty much every day almost, you know, 3-4 days a week, whatever it is, and we're going to work so hard, basically just paying for itself. That has paid for itself. And the more time it's gone is the more time Golden Boy Mexico gets in a casino and is able to pay off his half of the golden or the silver pickle, and so that's good. But it's also kind of like, well, you know, if we're not going to pay ourselves and if we're not going to make any kind of headway on
show side,
making a little bit of cash, which we have, but I mean, it's, you know, but
well, yeah, I might feel differently if every time we went out, it
was $5,000, and you know, it was $5,000 every time, and it's not, and anybody that's owned
and we weren't expecting it.
We weren't expecting it.
But I guess the frustrating part is they don't understand that the reason. So when we get in there and somebody starts giving us guff about being in we want to turn around. We do. I said, we'll just leave because we're not going to make any money here anyways. We knew that going in.
Right.
But the difference is we thought we could meet the town and maybe they would like our show. Maybe one person. So we sat there all day, served 100 people.
For one person.
To maybe one person like the show.
Right.
And then we have to listen to some bureaucrat, that small town bureaucrat, give a shit about the way we're doing it. And we're like,
or where we are,
or whatever. It's like, well, fuck off. We don't even want to do this.
Arguing over $25, which
we don't want to do.
No, we don't want to do that.
But we have to because we have to try to make this.
And it's not arguing. It's you know, it's just they don't have. We've went through this a million times. You don't have to charge us, man. You don't have to charge anybody in your town, especially if you know we're only going to be there one day. Now, if we're gonna park out on your corner lot in your town for every day for the next year. Yeah, charge
by all means.
But you're also getting tax revenue from whoever comes to the trailer, and so you're seeing money come in, some sort of money in your town. And this is what's so bad. And we have fans around, and I know they all know small towns. I'm not saying anybody doesn't know small towns. There's small towns everywhere, but small towns in the Bible Belt, in the Midwest, and the old flyover states, what it consists of is old oil or railroad, much like the rest of the country, but it's oil or railroad. And when it dies, somebody from Russia buys the whole town, and then it just gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Because they don't take care of it. They don't pay the light bill. They don't keep the water on. They shut everything off, and they just let it die. And no one has the balls in these small towns to call this Russian dude, to learn enough Russian or hire somebody from Fiverr that can speak Russian and say, get a hold of this dude and tell him we're burning his stuff down.
Yeah.
And he no longer owns it.
Right.
Because we're trying to save the
live
town.
here.
We live
you
here.
Don't. You know what I mean? And so.
And I understand America, and if you own it and it's yours, and I understand all of that stuff, but you got people from New York, and you got people from even out of the country that owns a lot of stuff in these small towns, and they do dick with it.
No.
And so then what you have is a small town of 400 people looking around like, well, I wish I had an Arby's, or I wish I had a small mom and pop liquor store, or I wish I had another bait store, or I wish I had a, J.C. Penney's, a Sears or something, but you can't because it's not owned by anybody that you can talk to readily.
Right.
And so no one, it's gone on so long, no one even really, a lot of times, nobody in the town knows who the hell actually owns this large building.
Just, you're in your own bubble, dude. You're in your own, I work at so-and-so, and I get up and go to work, and I come home, and I got, families, whatever. And we get it. We jump in the middle of all of this every town we go to, and everybody's like, what are you doing? Why are you here? What is this? And the few that want, the few that don't take it for granted, because some people will be like, I'll just go get a taco. That's pretty cool you came, but not even question the fact that this has never happened.
Right.
So it's not that their mind isn't blown by it. They're just like, we don't care. Yeah. And then some of them will think, well, they must be doing that because they make a killing.
Yeah.
And in some little towns, there's more people than not that come, and you would get that impression that we must make a killing.
Yeah. Like the whole town showed up that
the whole
day.
town
And so then they gear up and they get a trailer and they find out there ain't no money.
They're not going to show up. And I don't care. That's the part that is hard about it. It's like, I don't care about the money.
Yeah.
I care about the fact that if I'm gonna go bust my ass, sweat my ass, whatever the term is, doesn't matter. Go work really hard at something,
Yeah.
and learn each different town's culture,
Right.
each different town's rules, each different town's things. Try to stay within them. Pay the fees you got to pay the towns, pay the counties, do all this different stuff. It's not that part comes with the territory.
Yeah.
I get it.
And it's part of
The
doing
part
business.
that I get mad at is this isn't even what we're trying to do.
Right.
And nobody grasps the second part, which is we're doing this because we do a show.
Right.
And so if it ain't going to work that way, we ain't going to do it that way.
Right.
And we got to, we're not going to spin our wheels just to say that we spun our wheels, just so people be like, wow, you guys are stupid.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Right.
And we might be when we, switch and say, we're going to focus more on our show, and we're going to do private events where people understand the value of what they're getting. And we have a lot of people. We've already booked. We have the rest of the year has many bookings already done for private events. So we don't want to deal with your town anymore. Fuck off. We're going to go to your citizens of your town that know what we do and how good it is and all this stuff. And we'll go to them and we'll serve them and their families or their parties or whatever it is for private events. And then we'll have more free time during the week and during the days to do what we want to do, which is this. And if we want to waste our time and our money doing something that people think we can't do, we already proved them wrong with the taco truck. But we'll prove you wrong doing this. We'll go do this in a way that people are like, I don't understand why you guys think that you can do this, which everybody keeps saying to us or thinking over and over again. Who are you? You're not these people that have, you're not Joe Rogan. You're not these people that have shows. You guys are idiots, Right. Keep saying that. That's fine, but that's what we are. We're those idiots that are going to push on that button. And we thought that we could do both. We thought that this would be a good way to introduce that button.
Sure. Well, I mean, the idea, I still, as far as the idea is solid, and it is stupid. It's a roundabout way of doing it. But our thing is if you get to know somebody, you're more apt to listen to their CD, unless you get trapped in Vegas, like Conrad. That's still, but they didn't.
Great album, though.
They didn't stick around long enough for him to get to know him, for him to listen to it right off. He listened to it 10 years later when he found it, in the attic.
Well, when I got with the PTSD.
Right. Yeah. And so my thing is when you get to know somebody, you're more apt to kind of, that is true. And it still stands true, but probably not food is the way to do it.
Well, and I don't know if it,
because I don't know.
Because people know me. There's a lot of people that know me. I mean, that from growing up. Right. So many people that should know me through this being broadcast on my personal Facebook page that should know me. But they're not listening.
Right.
And they don't give a shit. So you can't know me. It's almost like the only way you can find out about us is if we enter your arena.
Right. Right. And that's what I'm saying. We slipped this in, and it wasn't a trick. It was something that we don't mind doing. I've always wanted to do something like this.
Well, we'll continue to do it.
What I'm saying is but we had the idea, and it was a crazy idea, and we did it, and it was a brick and mortar first, and then it's like, but I'm glad.
But even all that shit was all because of, then we could do our show over there. Right. We'll have a big thing, and we thought that would, and we'd be pretty frustrated right now, I think, if we built a cool studio that you walked by and you've seen, and nobody fucking ever listened.
No one ever came.
They just loved our food. And they come in and they wrote on our walls and they put dollars on our walls and they said all this shit. This is the greatest. And we could be millionaires, and guess what? I'd still be mad. Because it ain't what I'm trying to do. Right. And I think that people that have listened long, they know, but they're not even people that know us. I mean, there are people that know us through this, and they get it. What's frustrating is you thought that you had all these other people that, regardless of whether they gave a shit, they would support it, and they don't. And it's not that it's not any fault against them, but they don't realize that little bit of effort that is free, they didn't even go do. In my mind, when I see that it never happens, there's a big chalkboard there, and I've got tallies there, and
Tallywhackers.
there's a 0.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't got to put one on there yet for you guys, and this is now a decade where I've, you know, that I've had this chalkboard, or maybe you don't, but you should, and it's 0, and at some point I got to turn around and be like, hey, fuck all of you guys.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go do this thing. And I tried to let you be a part of it. And I asked and I begged and I sent out embarrassing shit and I asked embarrassing shit. And I went above and beyond all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And nobody did shit.
Right.
So fuck off. I'm out of here. I'm going to go find a place where people want it and knock on those people's doors. If I got to feel uncomfortable, I don't want to feel uncomfortable with a bunch of people that I feel like should care about me. And they don't.
Right.
In that way.
Right.
I'll go feel uncomfortable with people that are in this genre.
Right.
And ask them.
Right.
Because it's not so out of the blue to be like, hey, you know, we do this. Can we have you on the show? Can we be on your show? Blah, blah, blah. Because they have a show.
Right.
And then maybe that's the way we should have always went about it. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing. And I brought up a crazy thing. So, you know, we dive into this all the time. And, you know, as crazy as it is, it's not like we badmouth podcast conventions, or we didn't badmouth that kind of stuff. What we did badmouth is somebody that reportedly makes, you know, a living,
right?
And the podcast is about, you know, how to tie a bow tie, you know, or, you know, it's about men's apparel, or the dude on YouTube that cuts shoes in half. And we look at each other like, we don't understand, you know what I mean? And people always give you the thing, well, get a niche market. Well, what do you know what I mean? Like, if your passion's comedy, you know,
but also,
and we thought about, hey, why don't we do stand up? You know, hey, why don't we do this? It's different angles, because people that make it in to podcasting or writing on shows and then do podcasting or whatever, they're all stand ups. You know what I mean? And so, did we go about it the wrong way?
We're almost backwards.
We're backwards. We're coming at it backwards. So you've got 10 years,
yes,
and of doing it. And you're kind of coming through the back door, and it's kind of like, you know, it's the same thing. We don't want to be a podcast that always has guests on.
No.
Now, could we?
Sure. We've
you
never
know,
even tried.
But we never really
actually
tried.
The only times we've tried, we've had guests on.
Yeah.
The little effort where it's like, hey, let's have an artist of the week on.
Right.
Everybody I asked said absolutely.
Right.
The times we said let's have guys that we like, and we reached out, not all of them said yes, but one did within the first email. I'll come on your show. And so we can definitely do that, but it's not us.
That's not us. Yeah. I mean,
and people can be like, well, you guys can't just, it's like at some point I got to be like,
well, the thing is,
this is us.
We could be funny around doing the interview, but that makes the person we're interviewing feel uncomfortable, because they never heard of us and they probably don't check out the show. Now, if they were doing their PR and they would go out and listen to 2 or 3 shows and kind of get what we do, whether they like it or not, they're like, well, you know, but a show is a show. I mean, press is press. You know, it's small, big, good, bad, whatever. I'm going to go on their show, and if they could keep up a little bit with the comedy or kind of know our sense of humor, it'd be some good interviews, and we can actually have some good guests on. And I think it'd be entertaining, but you know, that's what everybody else is doing. And it's not like,
but I also
it's not like
that.
That's not just because everyone's doing it, we're going the opposite way. That's not the only reason. It's just everybody does it. It's the same guests.
Yes. It's the same guests. It's the same topics, but also on top of that,
there's only so many
advice
you can
the advice from people that don't know, the advice from people that don't know us to tell us how to do it, that's not us then.
Right.
And that's the part that I've always, you know, every time that we've switched things, because for whatever, it doesn't matter. Change the name now. It doesn't matter, because the guys that are with us are with us.
Right.
And it's like, is there something that should be different? Should we be consistent in time? We've done all of them.
Right.
I mean, our other show stayed for 5 years at the exact same time, no matter what.
Right. And
never missed a day.
Right.
You know, it didn't change a damn thing. And so it's like, but then people are like, well, maybe it's you. And it's like, you know, I would believe that if I can't listen to as much as I listen to and know as many different genres, as many different people, as many different angles as I know that we don't fit somewhere within this thing, and compare it and try to be biased. And it's really hard to jump out of your own head and be like, what what's wrong, and not really be able to tell anybody, but fix it internally
Yeah, right.
within your own group of people without them even knowing
Right.
that you fixed something that you saw that's like, I can't keep having it that way.
Right.
I can't keep doing it that way.
Right.
I got to change this thing. And they don't even know you're doing it.
Right.
And we've done that. And that's all been done. And you get to the point where, fuck you, this is my product and I stand behind it. This is mine. This is what we do. This is the way I think. This is the funny shit that I think is funny.
Yeah.
This is the way I approach stuff. And I don't give a shit if there isn't a show out there that does it like that, or if there isn't a genre that does it like that.
Saying is you look at the market or the kind of market you want to be in, and ours is pretty small. And there's only really a couple podcasts that I think that do not have guests.
Yeah.
And I hate to keep going back to old ones I've already mentioned because I don't listen to a lot. I obviously don't listen to near the podcasts that Conrad does, but the little I do is it's like yeah dude is along our lines. Now they do take a lot more current events or crazy stories, and they play games and they do stuff. But here's something they don't do: interview guests. Now they have a small follow. When I say small follow, it's huge to us. I mean we're good. I mean, if we had the following that dude,
we'd be fine.
And they've been doing it almost as much as Conrad has, or around the same time.
They've been doing it since 2006.
Oh, 6. Okay.
So they've been after it.
They've been after it, which,
but they also start, and I hate doing that because you still have to do it.
Yeah.
But you can't start with your dad was the on night court. Yeah. I mean, you get this press. You're in a city where when you're being creative, you're accepted.
Right.
Whereas this part of the country, where the people that are in those cities will see that you come out of the Midwest or you come out of this thing and already not even listen.
Write
you off like that's a backwards idiot. You know, which I am to the right, but I still have.
Yeah, but I that's the thing. I think that a lot of people, and I knew this in the band. I think a lot of people in New York and in California on the coasts, that what they miss is there is such a huge opportunity, I think, of our flyover states, because the market is huge. Now the market is still going to learn. They're still going to listen to a lot of East-West Coast because that's the only one that's getting let in that circle door. But if there was somebody, and that is tried and true and proved on YouTube and other other sites, because we got a guy that put a Cummins engine in a Mustang,
right?
And that's not the only thing he did, but he's a shop. I think it's here in Oklahoma, and he's got 1 trillion followers. Well,
there's an audience.
There's nobody in New York City proper, or LA proper, or San Francisco proper, or the quote unquote big markets, or Hollywood.
Yeah.
Other than what's I don't know, it doesn't matter, that are watching this guy. It's people that are in this state and up and down the middle swath of America. So there's a market that these guys are getting to, and we will listen to some of the stuff, and I mean, it's like,
but the part
it's like Letterkenny.
Yeah.
You can't, you come from Canada, and it's huge following, huge show in America.
Yeah.
And it's pretty big in Canada, but I actually think it got more fans in America. And you've got Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
Now that's different medium.
But they're also, those are niche in the sense of their humor.
Yeah.
I've watched both, and I like both, but they're different from each other, but they're also different than other stuff I watch that I think is funny.
For sure.
But also, my wife can't watch. She hates them. And that should be there. There should be people that hate what we do.
For sure.
But the problem is I can't swim in this pool of people that just they're not fans of this stuff.
Yeah. Right.
They're not fans of this. And I'm like, well, you don't have to be a fan. Just like me. Yeah. You like me, right? Yeah, I love you.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to hit subscribe. I'm not going to do that. Even if I don't listen, even if it doesn't do anything, to my phone, like it's whatever they're thinking or not thinking, I just don't do it. Okay. I got to get the fuck out of this pool then.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the wrong pool.
Yeah.
But we get out there. One thing we've never done, as long as we've done it, is grab our catalog of everything we've done, grab our personalities, grab our shit, grab our vision of what we want to do, and then go out to people and be like, this is what we want to do. This is it.
Right.
And this is it. regardless. And I'll go do all the other shit I have to do to make sure my family's great, but I got to do that now.
Yeah.
So why am I then spending? I spend way more time on this side of it than I do on the side that actually makes money for the family.
Right.
And whether it be with the taco truck or whatever, but that's more time on the taco truck. We spend just as much time doing the show.
Yeah.
When we do 2 shows a day or 3 shows a day sometimes, or 5, we've done all kinds of shit in this past year that are nuts. And then being like, why, what the hell is going on? Well, they're just seeing the outside. They're seeing these guys are doing tacos. And a lot of thousands of people have been like, you guys are awesome with your tacos.
Right. Right.
And good luck on your show.
Yeah.
But they're not here for the show.
Yeah, they're not. They're tacos, and that's what I'm saying is but no one's tried it. And as far as I know, we're the only people out there that are doing a food truck and podcast. Now there's food truck, dance off or whatever
and
it
there's
is.
Probably podcasts that go try food. I know there
are. For sure.
And all that shit.
For sure.
But you're not 2 people that do a show that run the truck.
Right.
And there's no employee, there's no nothing. Right. It's us for everything.
Right. And so I mean my thing is there's something to be said about that. And as far as selling it, not even selling it, you wrote up a deal basically about this is what we are, this is what we do.
Yeah.
A very brief, spackling for 10 years worth of work. You know what I mean? But it's very good. When you read that, it's kind of like you send it out to other shows. If they're the size that we are, or even a little bit bigger or even smaller or whatever, you got to know that there's a large proportion like, hey, that's a good idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as, because you're out and about, if you're making a dime, whatever, but you got time to manage, obviously, because everything's time management, but if you got time to manage to do a show and to get it posted, and yes, it's twice the work. And I mean, just by itself, running the truck, that's a full-time job.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job. So, I mean, by scheduling it, by making sure you have everything, all your ducks in a row, so people leave you alone, making sure that you do that, because if the,
well, even
the powers that be look at the trailer now in a lot of these towns like, oh yeah, it's those guys.
Right.
Because they know that we do it right. They know that we have all our licensing. They know that we're more than ready to ask questions or correct anything if we have wrong. And every time they've checked, there hasn't been anything wrong. Right. So it's kind of like leave them alone, let them do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And, and that's the way it's been, other than small towns that charge us or.
They don't know it. Once you get to know us, nobody bothers us again, ever. And
they're glad that we're here.
Great. And that's great. We're building 2 things at once, but one isn't being built at all.
Right.
Because we're focusing on what we have to, because in order to do the food, you have to.
Yep.
So I guess that's a very long way of saying we're going to try to do, it won't really be that different if you've already listened.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of the same. The difference is there's just going to be
well, no,
I want to be a lot more consistent. I want to be a lot more.
Look at it positively, because you're going to get no matter what. And the biggest thing from the core big listeners,
it'll be more, and it'll be better.
It's more. It's more. It's better. It's polished even more. Because I mean, we could sit here and say we're going to polish a turd, but it's not a turd. Go out and listen to a lot of any of it.
Yeah.
And we're sitting down on a picnic table out in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, on a board that we bought before we went to Vegas one time, to do walk around interviews with people at the pool. And, we're still using that. We've driven in cars, and sometimes it's not always best audio, but when it's in the studio, it is, because we do pride ourselves on audio. So, I mean, it's going to be better audio. It's going to be even some visual.
Yeah.
If you're into that, if not, great, whatever, but it's going to be more and more and more. And if you dig us, then just buckle in. You're going to have a lot more stuff to listen to at work and in your lives. And that's the big thing. And hopefully we can grow that family, and that's what we've been trying to do the whole time with the taco truck. And it is frustrating because, and I can't blame them, because, if I'm walking up to Texas Roadhouse, I want a couple things. One, I want a good steak.
You're gonna have to cut into that too, buddy.
I want to cut into it. I want a good steak.
And tell me
Two,
what it is.
I want at
twist,
least
flip,
2
flip.
people in that restaurant, either while I'm waiting or at my table or walking out, to be getting sung happy birthday and ride that saddle.
Yeah.
And throughout my experience at Texas Roadhouse, I want to see some dancing. I expect those 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know what I don't expect?
Them to ask you to listen to a podcast.
Having a microphone stuck in my face, or
Yeah.
or slide me a sheet of paper saying, "Can you please rate my podcast?" I really appreciate it. You know. Now, maybe Texas Roadhouse should do that. Maybe they hire us to do their Texas Roadhouse podcast. That'd be great. But they're not doing it now, and I wouldn't expect it. And I'd actually be drawn aback a little bit while trying to eat a steak in an arcade setting if they said we also have a podcast.
You wouldn't know what to do with it.
You know, Walmart has
and if
Walmart
you're just
radio.
Some farmer,
Target has their Target radio, and they have famous people on there as far as introducing songs, or they might even have the artists themselves introducing songs. Hey, thanks for listening to Target Radio while you're shopping for another fuzzy bath mat. But you don't hear 2 waterheads talking about water sticks in Target.
No.
You just don't do it.
You don't hear people sitting around saying, like, for real, there should be a menu item at a Texas Roadhouse of giraffe neck. That should be.
That's right.
To me, that's a big problem. And when we're actually being ourselves, and Shannon and I are, for whatever reason, we went to Willie, or we're just in a good mood, and we actually just take the pressures of life off of us, and we go out together. That's actually what we're asking.
Right.
You know, we'll go to an IHOP and ask for a damn Hoobastank burrito. We'll go to. I remember sitting with Zach at an IHOP after a show, and you one night for like 3 hours, and we had the whole staff, you know, laughing. And but that's what we do when we're all let's just be this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think, and not to say that not a lot of people, there might be other people that are like that too, but I don't see it. I'm out and about all the time, all over 2 states.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't see it.
No, you don't. What we want is, I guess, I mean, if we're building a perfect world, which we normally do, is people just taking the time and bullshitting with people, getting to know them.
Yeah.
And maybe trying to make them laugh or try to dig into their life a little bit. And, you know, that's kind of what comedy to us, I think, is about, is no matter where you are in life, it could completely suck. It sucked today. I mean, we were out in 100 billion degree weather. There was not a stitch of shade. No one was throwing shade.
Nobody threw shade.
No one threw shade. We went and parked under shade. You know, we're in a damn, you know, submarine.
Yeah.
A glowing submarine, and it's next to a grill, and it's 3 trillion degrees. Hardly any customers, and it's you know, it beats on you.
Well, it beats on you, especially when it's like, why are we not doing what we want to do?
Right.
And what we want to do is sit here and talk to you guys about whatever is going on in our lives, or stupid thoughts that we have about.
No, we want to describe to you that we saw Q today, and he was in an orange shirt, and he had a backpack, and he had glasses and a hat, and he had
a high fanny pack, not a low fanny pack, a high
one. He was carrying it up high, and he was texting faster than I've seen anyone text or
type.
Type.
A secret freaking shopper, and he was shopping for the damn U.S. government, dude.
And I swear it was Q.
It was Q.
And we looked at him, and we both knew who it was. Q.
Yeah.
You know.
And I know that nobody else around us thought that.
No,
nobody
they just passed him, and it was like some weird guy texting. If they even saw him.
There's not a lot of people that
he was in the meat section, dog. They wasn't even looking at him. They were looking at what the price of pork chop.
Yeah, but there's just not a lot of people that can be gone from each other like you and I for a few days.
Yeah.
And then be so excited to be back with each other to where we're yelling at each other in a Walmart about our conspiracy about Top Gun. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And throughout a produce aisle and throwing out jokes and I mean, over 3 aisles.
Right. And people are looking at us because they don't know how to take us. And that's the rub. That's the rub.
Yeah.
Is if people heard the show and gave it a show or two, like some of our favorite shows, I guarantee you more time than not, they're going to like it. It's just those people are so taken aback because no one does that. No one has those conversations that loud.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you know, I know there was several customers and even people working there scratching their heads like, are those guys seriously talking about a conspiracy theory with Top Gun 2 and how it connects to COVID?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the fact that we never bust a laugh or we never laugh
No.
at it, we never do nothing. We just keep going and building off each other. And at some point, you got to say the fact that he brought up Lederhosen.
Yeah.
What does Lederhosen have to do with Top Gun 2 Dog? Like,
It doesn't. And if you just hand me those rap chips, I'll explain. And like when that shit
open them up. I want one. You know,
goes on, and it goes on constantly
Yeah.
for us, there's something there. And I will. That's the mission. It's like I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not real.
Right.
I already walk around zombies that I don't think are real,
Yeah.
but I can't sit here and be like, there's too much that we come up with that comes out of our dumb heads. That is
the fact that you bought that tea bag,
The-
in the middle of Walmart
right.
and everything. I mean, no giggles. You guys aren't giggling. You see what this guy's buying, right? And a lot of it's society. Do I laugh at that? And they're questioning. I get it, and it's not.
Yeah,
It's not a
not
comedy
normal.
show. We're not at the laugh in. We're in the middle of Walmart. But
Right.
you guys got to loosen up. And
Yes.
we're if you're not going to loosen up, we're going to force you to loosen up and stop taking everything so goddamn serious.
Oh no, and then I'd say that my autism spectrum is this, where I'll be in there and you might think I'm one of you. You might think I'm a zombie.
Yeah.
But all I'm doing is taking notes of everything that's going on
Right.
all around at all times. And I'm just building a set to where I get to be in front of people that can hear it.
Right.
And usually that's the show.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I just
and then, the thing is so much stuff comes, so much cannon fodder. We can walk through Walmart and have a week's worth of shows.
yes.
And that's not bragging. That's not saying that, we can do stuff off the cuff.
Shannon, there was a one-piece swimsuit
Yeah.
that was to-dyed.
Yeah.
Or to-dyed.
That said Oklahoma on it.
That said Oklahoma
Yeah,
on it.
Yeah, bud.
And somebody
Lake life.
woke up that morning saying, I'm going to go get me some plain yogurt.
Yep.
And they walked in there and
It's
they
a good
said,
idea.
I might also get this dope-ass
For
Oklahoma
sure. I
oneie.
hope they have it on my side. Yeah.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't, but buy it anyway.
They
and
don't.
Put it next
but,
to your yogurt.
But I said, yeah. Give it as a gift.
And they don't.
And I don't know, the decisions. Speaking of Walmart, I'll throw this out there. This is something I saw. Who made the decision that thought that hoodies for 2-year-olds is a good idea? How many 2-year-olds you see strolling around? And maybe I'm not in the right part
You can
of town.
put whatever you want on a 2-year-old.
I
That's your
guess.
You know what I'm saying? But like that's your choice.
How many months you got? 24 months on you? Have this hoodie, dog. You know what I mean? Where we at?
Yeah, eat these wrap chips
Yeah,
and
eat
have
these
this hoodie.
Just fucking chill out,
I
Eat
don't
these
know.
fucking B.I.G., Notorious B.I.G., jalapeno and honey chips. Put your hoodie on, Come on.
So I guess it's just really
Javel?
we get to bring you this exciting news that, to me, it's exciting. We're like, let's pull the Band-Aid off of. We're the scab.
Yeah. Well, here's
Let's
also,
pull the Band-Aid off ourselves and get out there and be like, this is what we do.
if you're big, long fans, you know who you are out there. that
Reach
listen-
out to people. If you listen to other shows, Chris,
Yeah.
I know you do, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
All
And I get it. There's only so many people at work. They're probably tired of hearing these guys,
Yeah, I know.
from Oklahoma.
But
I
reach
guarantee
out,
that. But
do what I'm doing. I will ask everyone to do this, and I should do it every show.
if we are sitting here telling you
Yeah.
that we're going to start reaching out to other shows, whether they're bigger, smaller,
Doesn't
the
matter.
same as ours,
We'll
it
go
doesn't
on any
matter.
show.
Go on any show.
It's much like our taco
That
truck.
tells you where we're going. It's here's our chips. They're all in.
Yeah.
The dealing's done. Let's see if we can't pull out a winner. As far as let's get some promotion out there and see if we can't grow this family. Because in a weird way, I kind of think that you guys are getting snubbed. You guys have been with us forever.
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember. And you're in because you guys get the comedy. But wouldn't it be nice to chat with other people who also get it?
Yeah.
And grow that family of people like, hey, did you hear what
But
fucking Conrad said 2 days ago?
It's going to take all of us, and it's
For sure. Yeah.
It can't just be.
It
It
takes a village.
can't just
It takes
be
a village.
me reaching out to people. It does take a village.
It takes a village.
But I can't be the only village person that's like,
M. Night Shyamalan.
yeah,
Village.
hi, I'm Conrad, and I do this, and
Sure.
But by the way, I'm doing it.
Right.
It's happening.
Well, but the thing is Conrad, and I'll speak for Conrad on this because I know it is weird for someone that does all the work and does the shows and does everything and then writes something about himself,
I
like
fucking
what
hate
do I want to say,
Yeah.
and then promote himself like I know I'm good,
Yeah.
I mean I know I'm
But
good.
this is
I've done
gonna
it for 10
seem like
years, and
this is the worst
Yeah,
thing I can do to if you're good.
it always been like that, and for good reason. Because the thing is you either do that or you hire somebody from Ferber, and each
Yeah.
way sounds like a fucking dumbass way to do
Yeah,
it.
and they're all going to tell you it is.
But
But guess what?
Big.
I'm getting to the point where fuck off. I don't know if it's age or whatever.
Yeah.
I know it's good.
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
I know that the shows that we do are good, and so I got to be in front of it and say fuck you. It's good.
Yeah.
And then everybody else, because maybe
Sure.
it takes the person in front to be like, listen, I'm going to stand on it, and then everybody else is like, all right, well if he'll do it, I
Yeah.
will do it.
Yeah.
And if he's not with himself, why would I do it for him?
Yeah.
That's a lot of it.
But yeah, I don't think that's a lot of. I think as far as the crew, as far as those guys from Wichita goes,